Hi. So, in order to help my business, I need to get the message out there about what I do, who I help, and how I make their lives better. How do I solve problems, and how do I create positive outcomes? And that, in this day and age, entails using social media and creating content. And that can feel like a pressure. I think in the words of coaches, like a should. And ultimately what that means is the feeling of flow, the feeling of creativity flies away. And the clarity of intention is not there. What I'd like to say, the energy isn't there. And it isn't so much the energy to move things and do things, but the quality of the energy behind the content creation process, whether that is a blog post, a LinkedIn post, a video like this, a podcast, a carousel, whatever it may be that you feel like creating. If the energy or the intention of the energy, the intentional energy, the energy of intention, I'm working this one out. If that isn't there, if you're not clear about what that energy is, then it will feel forced and it won't come across in the way you want it to come across. So that's my premise. That's the challenge that I face myself, and I'm assuming you're facing it as well. And so the reframe, the way to think about this that I'm finding helpful, is to think about 4 types of energy: clarifying energy, connection energy, invitation energy, and safety energy. And I'll explain a bit more. So what is the clarify energy, or content to clarify? That is an inside aspect. This is all an inside out journey. This is clarity of my own ideas. This is the idea of expressing my thoughts and feelings as words or as videos, is putting it into some kind of tangible format just to get some clarity, to just build up this body of knowledge, to then find out what is it I'm really trying to say. Someone shared with me this idea of throwing thought pebbles in order to create a mountain of thought from which to stand on and have a different perspective. I love this idea because you won't necessarily get clarity with the first, second, third, fourth piece of content. If you're like me, it is a process of thinking out loud, and through that process the eureka moments happen. The right words that capture what you're trying to say come up. And the energy there isn't for others, it's for self. And it's really a self-expression process. But in my case, I believe it helps to do that in public, because it's too easy for it to hide and be lost if you do it for yourself and it's never shared. The act of needing to share it and needing to communicate an idea is the process of clarifying. The second energy is what I'll call connection energy. And the best way I can think about that, content to connect, is to be a beacon, so that people can find you, so that people say, oh, you think like that too? So do I. Interesting. Tell me more. I'd like to hang out with you. I'll listen a bit more. And so it's not, listen to me, you need to hear this, this is the answer. This is more, this is how I think, this is my perspective. I think Tad Hargrave of Marketing for Hippies calls it, this is my premise. And having that as something in public, something that can be seen and discovered, so that people who do think like that, who feel like they're alone with those thoughts, realize that they're not anymore, and that you are the person just like them who looks at the world in a similar way and maybe has similar kinds of struggles. Content to invite. The active invitation is this idea of, if you're like me and you've struggled with these things and you're on a similar path and a similar journey, mission, purpose, whatever you want to describe it, just want to get similar outcomes, then come along for the ride. Walk beside me. Walk with me. Maybe ask me a few questions if you wish, and I'll try and help you along the way. Maybe I need to ask you some questions because you're a few steps ahead of me. But either way, we're, I think, going in the same direction, and I'd love for you to come and join me. And so that's the invitation, the kinds of content that creates that invitation to say, this is what I believe in. These are the things that I'm trying to create. If you can support me in doing that, please come on board. If you have questions of how I did that, please come and ask me. If you can give me some answers to some of these questions, please let me know. And starting to invite a conversation as well. The final one is content to create safety. And this is specifically where you want to support other people who are maybe a few steps behind you. Maybe want to essentially create the outcomes that you know how to create with your eyes closed. You have a lived experience, a set of wisdom, some skills and some knowledge that could really help them. And this content to create safety is to help them feel like they are in the right place with the right person who knows what it takes to get where they want to get to, and who can support them along the way, and have testimonials, stories, shared experiences that make you feel like, yep, this place is a safe place, this person is a safe person. They can really maybe guarantee, but at least give me a better shot of getting to where I need to get to, resolving the problems I need to resolve, creating the outcomes that I want to create, or giving me the clarity that I really wanted. So yeah, those 4 energies: content to clarify, thinking out loud, content to connect, being visible, being a beacon, sharing your values, your vision, your perspective, so that others can feel that they're not alone and there's someone there who speaks their language. Content to invite, so this real clear invitation. So if you're like me, come and walk beside me, come on this journey with me. And finally, content to create safety. And that's like, where I'm going, I'm very clear. I know exactly what this journey is like behind me. I know all the steps along the way. I know the things that you might struggle with. And I have some ideas, some wisdom, some experiences that will help you avoid any pitfalls and wrong turns. So yeah, I hope that helps when you're writing to try and understand what energy am I bringing to this, so that you can feel more free and more intentional with whatever content you're creating. Okay, I hope that helps.